Alright, so this is my review for Gold Rush The Jungle, aka, as I have affectionately started to call it, Welcome to the Jungle. And let me first start by saying I'm going to be moving around a lot in this video because I'm getting dressed, but I'll probably pop on camera in a little bit. So, if you're not familiar with the show, it was originally Gold Rush Alaska, but if you watched it after the show, you'll know that Todd has been trying to mine in South America for a while. So they decided to finally go ahead and give in and film in South America, specifically Guyana. So that is where they are. He has a hot tip on gold mining in Guyana, and he basically believes that it's overflowing with gold and they'll be able to make, riches, and they'll hit pay dirt and all kind of wonderful stuff will transpire. Well, and basically, he consults with the guys and they go ahead and they decide, yeah, we'll go. And he thinks that he can gold mine year round if they go down there, because South America doesn't have the whole issue of snow and freezing, the same issues that they were basically having in Alaska. Now, if you noticed that, for one, they're missing some of the key members of the show, and it's not necessarily people who mine with Todd, but you're missing Dakota Fred. Who else is missing? Parker. And I don't even think they brought the dog this time, but then again, they're in a different country, so, But they go on down to South America and they get there and they're getting the supplies that they need. Basically, they believe that they can do it better than the locals or whoever is there, because they have actual mining equipment versus doing it either a old-fashioned way or with so equipment. They think that they can go down there and get it done. They have the right equipment. It's going to be easy. We're going to go down there. We'll go mine year round. Great weather. I don't know why these people keep following him into these situations. Personally, if it was me, I probably would have left a long time ago. And like one of the guys, what is his name? I think it's Dave. Dave's family already has like a rock quarry or a rock mine, or they do something. He's like a rock expert. So they have a family business back in, I think it's Oregon, where he has that. So why follow this guy around on pipe dreams? I don't even think they broke even last year, and I know they didn't break even in the first season trying to mine for gold. So after you start calculating up cost of the equipment, cost of feeding the men, the lease on the mine because they don't own these mines, all these things, after you start adding up costs, and then they bring up the families, and they have associated costs of food and gasoline, and incidentals in the event that there's an emergency or the equipment breaks down. This is all stuff that you have to have money for. So I don't think that they're breaking even. I just think that he, meaning Todd, has this like whole pipe dream thing going on, and they already said on the after show he's really a dreamer. And like Dave and the guy who hosts the after show, they kind of think in black and white. So, but whatever the case, they go down there to get in their equipment. They're speaking to a local guy, and I believe he ends up being their guide. He is telling them, you need this, you need that, and they're looking at the machetes, and the guy in the shop is like, yeah, you need a machete, and they're like, what, for cutting brush and all that stuff? It was like, yeah, and they say something like, not anacondas, but I think he said snakes, and Todd was like, snakes, and I'm looking at the TV like, are you serious? Are you like, it's the jungle? You never seen the Jungle Book at very least? There's snakes. There's all kinds of things in the jungle. I'm thinking maybe he wasn't prepared. Maybe he didn't get the memo. I don't know. But he's not going to a park. He's going to the jungle. This is an area that is untouched, virgin, land that he's going to mine. So He's not going to the Hilton or the Holiday Inn. He's going to go into the wilderness, and yes, you're going to need a machete. So they go and they got all their stuff and everything, and they find out that the mine that Todd had leased isn't in the name of the person that it should have been in on his paperwork. So basically, the mine is there, but the mine has been worked. It's not a virgin claim, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. And it turns out basically that the mine is not the person's mine that he thought it was. It's somebody else's. So he has to rush at the very last minute to get a mine because otherwise the show is over with. They don't have anything to work. So very last minute, he finds a way to get a mine, and he meets with all these officials and people to get a mine that has virgin land that's big enough for him to work year round. He gets the lease, and all is good. So they basically have to hire some people to help them get their stuff to where the site is at on the mine, or as close as they can possibly get it. So they they have to move all their equipment and things that they buy, and what have you. So okay, you guys. So basically, when they got into the town, they had a guy that they rented some ATVs from, and the ATV guy could only take them so far, and then they had to get off the ATVs. But before they got off the ATVs, the grandfather Jack, as I like to call him, Grandpa Jack, Todd's dad, he got his ATV stuck in like some muddy water. And I guess out there the water has like piranhas, leeches, and all kinds of good stuff. Now, it wasn't deep enough to have piranhas swimming in it, but it was deep enough that he was basically just spinning his tires in the mud. And Todd really didn't want to go in there and try to pull him out because he was going to run a chance of getting leeches on him. Whatever the case, they tried to use some like string or some rope, and the rope basically broke. It snapped and flew forward and hit Todd in the leg. And at that chance, they take the moment to kind of insert the fact that there's really no hospitals in that area that they're in, and they're still not even close to where they need to be as far as their claim site. So they go on the ATVs, and then I believe when they finally get off, they have to cross like a river or something of that sort. But the river's not that deep, but it's deep enough that there could be fish in it. There's definitely leeches in it and some other things, snakes, whatever else could possibly be in this water. So they need to get someone to take them up there, and I think they end up paying like 3 times the amount. Or I'm sorry, taking them across, but they end up paying like 3 times the amount or something of that sort that it would normally cost to charter like a boat or whatever to try to get across the water. And they get pretty far, but they come to realize that the water is really shallow in this one part. So the guy who owns the boat basically tells them to get out of the boat, and he's going to try to get it up this little part, and then they can get back in the boat. Well, they can't get in the boat after it's all said and done because the guy couldn't get it over this little rocky, shallow part. So needless to say, I think that's pretty much where it ends, where they're trying to figure out how they're going to get past the little watery area. I think they end up getting past the little like 2 people end up getting over to the claim finally, which is across a little river thingy. But it turns out that like there wasn't really enough gold there for it to even be substantial enough for them to be out there digging. So they're gonna hit up a couple more areas, but they have like so many acres. The acreage is extremely large on this claim, but it's all virgin land, so there's all kinds of trees and rocks and all kinds of stuff. It's not cleared, so they're pretty much trying to figure out how they're going to go about finding where the goal is exactly at. And that's pretty much, I think that's where they stop. When it's all said and done, It'll be back on, I believe, next week. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't know. I may or may not cover the full series. I think there is only 6 or 9 episodes, something like that. It's not that many episodes because it's not the original. Excuse me. It's not the original, gold miners, Alaska. They're not in Alaska. They're down there in the jungle, and I don't believe they know anything about the customs or the language or anything of the sort. So, as it currently stands, I don't know what they're doing, and I still believe how these people got to be crazy to consider following this man all the way to South America, and he didn't know what he was doing in Alaska, which is only, a plane ride, not too long of a plane ride, I should say, away from their home state, which is Oregon. Whatever the case, I will talk to you guys soon. I'm sick. I sound like hell, so I apologize if I sound scratchy and crazy. Anyways, like I said, I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye.